Why do people leave things behind? Is it because they do not care, or is it just convenient? It could be several things, but in this case we are talking about abandoned mansions. It could be due to foreclosures, bankruptcy, and financial or legal reasons. Maybe it could be due to a loved one passing away and nobody to take care of the house. And that's exactly what happened here. Today we travel back in time to discover clues on who may have lived here in the past and explore the unique 1800s Antebellum architecture of this 220-year-old abandoned mansion. So let's begin our journey, travel back to the past, dig up the forgotten memories this house had to offer, and start at the very end of its life. If you enjoy these types of videos, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing, as more content like this is coming out soon. One of the first things you notice when pulling up to this abandoned beauty is its wrought iron gate outside, which is quite famous for southern antebellum homes in the United States. Then we get a little closer to see 4 massive monumental white composite pillars. Each of these pillars has unique carvings, a nice treat to the eye, and gives the home an exquisite southern appeal. This home looks absolutely fantastic from the street, but getting up close, you can tell that this home has been neglected and has seen better days. Mother Nature also seems to be having its way with this home. Countless days of wind, rain, and time all made its presence known here. There's only so much you can do when the property owner passes away, but nearby neighbors do what they can to keep this beauty going as long as possible. Still, sometimes certain damages are inevitable to prevent. The neighbors are starting to look a little curious about why we are taking pictures. So let's go inside and see what we can find. But first, let's take a look at the word antebellum and its meaning. What happened in this era? In style. The term is used to describe America before the Civil War erupted and has a racial charge that ties back to slavery ownership. The word antebellum dates back to the South's plantation era. What does antebellum mean? The literal meaning of the word antebellum is pre-war, stemming from the Latin phrase antebellum. It is the term that highlights grand Southern plantation-style architecture, with columns, large fields, and fancy aesthetics. Antebellum generally refers to white ownership of black slaves before the Emancipation Proclamation. What happened in the antebellum South? Before the Civil War, Southern states thrived on slave labor to work plantations, tend to the crops in the fields, and build architecture. African kings sold slaves to the whites and were brought from Africa to the South during the colonial periods to grow the economy during the 17th and 18th century, and were subjected to white rule and terrible living conditions. The antebellum South was a racist period in American history that granted zero rights to black people and profited off their slave labor under American white power. As a result, northern and southern states began to increase tension due to major disagreements on slavery, resulting in a 4-year-long civil war. The North eventually won. Democrats still wanted slavery, but it wasn't until Republican Abraham Lincoln demanded the abolishment of slavery by signing the Emancipation Proclamation. So the real question is, why is this word used for a house style? It's considered neoclassical architecture style characteristics of the 19th century southern United States, especially the Deep South. From the birth of American Civil War, antebellum architecture is mainly characterized by Georgian, neoclassical, and Greek Revival style homes and mansions. These plantation houses were built in southern American states during roughly the 30 years before the American Civil War, approximately between 1830s to the 1860s. Here we are. We waited long enough. Now let the history and fine details speak for themselves. After filming the fine details of the house, we decided to search for clues of the past owner. Unfortunately, many things were left behind because the couple who lived here perished shortly after buying the home, according to the next-door neighbor. I'm not sure who this woman is in all these photos, but we can always speculate she may have been the caretaker for the home or possibly extended family. I say this because after doing some research, the house was last purchased in 2013. I found this out by asking a nearby neighbor across the street and saw the couple's photo in a local newspaper. If you think this is a married couple, you would be mistaken. It's actually brother and sister. The lady on the left says she used the internet to search for the home. She loved it and wanted to purchase it and did just that. Then moved down south after working for the Veterans Administration for many years. Her brother, who retired from an appliance company, also resided in the home with his sister. The sister moved into the house with just her suitcase. She quoted, "The place was empty and had been ransacked, so she furnished each room with antique furniture, and these are some of the photos of what the house looked like, fully furnished." They even had a pet poodle that lived in the house. Weeks and weeks passed until the post office finally realized what had happened. Then the mail stopped coming, and all of these advertisements and leftover bills were left behind. Clothes like the gentleman's tuxedo and lady garments were left behind as well. And I'm guessing they tried to renovate the kitchen right before the sister's passing, because some renovations inside here are incomplete. That's everything I could dig up about the previous owner. And not to get off topic, but you see that house through the window? Yeah, that one. It's considered to be one of the most haunted houses in the South. So it's like a 2-in-1 combo, but I'll save that for another video. Now let's go upstairs and continue to explore. Antebellum homes were famous for having fireplaces in every room, with this house being no exception. They did this back in the day because houses didn't have central heating, so they just used fireplaces to keep warm. With a fireplace in every room, trust me, this house had no shortages of fireplaces. The best part about it is that craftsmen took pride in their work, and you can see every little exquisite detail in this piece of artwork. I call it art because, well, that's what it is. And this room right here is not so cinematic, but I'm going to film it for what it is anyway. This room needs some work. And this is where you see the stained glass window, and the sun beaming from that angle hits that, and it shines through here. This house is nice. And I noticed pretty much every room has its own fireplace color scheme. Like right here is more of like a yellow orange, and then the other room's got more of like a blue and a red tint. Look at this fireplace. Look at the detail on that. And in here, looks like you got a little mini bathroom. Look, I even like that too. Look at the claw legs. Nice. That reminds me of Momo's toilet. It's very womanly like with the colors. Looks like Easter. I wonder if it flushes. Got a blue zinc. Some leftover bars of soap.
It looked like some lady was living in on the top floor.
Yeah. And I see an abandoned car outside too, but I don't know what it's doing. I think it's got a Georgia license plate on it, but this ain't Georgia.
Oh.
What's in the back trunk? I hope it's not a person. And here we have a door leading to the outdoor balcony, but I'm not going out there. The deck looks pretty rough. Plus you got people staring across the street. I don't know what they're looking at. I don't know, they're sitting on the front porch over there. From what I can see. Well, that's it. We explored this place from top to bottom, and that's all I can find. The house was built in 1800 and is just over 5,000 square feet. It's listed for $70,000, which is half the asking price in 2012. Recently, realtors took it off the market because the house never sold. Now it sits abandoned and falls into disrepair. I talked to the neighbor across the street, and he mentioned it hadn't sold yet because the neighborhood it's located in is considered historical. There are regulations where you have to restore the house to its original form, and unfortunately, you'll be spending more money repairing damages than what the home is worth. So I'm curious, would you fix this house up knowing that you'll be spending more money than what the home is worth if you had the money? I would like to know. Leave it in the comments. And as always, keep exploring and stay safe. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe for more content like this. If you have any locations in your area for me to check out, let's link up and explore together. For any questions, message me on Instagram, and thank you for watching.